Thank you so much for having me. This is seriously such an honor. My background is in digital marketing, and so most recently I made a career transition and started a company. So I haven't gotten much sleep in the past 8 months, but my passion's in health and wellness, and so I'm just so honored to be able to be here today and talk to you guys about what I love. So as Jeff mentioned, I am all the way here from downtown Las Vegas. And you know, there's something really, really interesting that's happening downtown right now. There's actually a revitalization effort underway as we speak to the tune of $350 million. So it's pretty interesting what you see if you come to visit Vegas right now. Basically, you will be greeted either by a praying mantis shooting fire out of its antlers, or a llama that's guiding a parade to the 51s game, which, if y'all are not baseball fans or don't know about Vegas, that's our baseball team. That's actually not Tony in the middle, but I love that image because it's John Mackey, the co-CEO of Whole Foods. And as much of the project is still underway and under construction, we actually got him to give us a talk on conscious capitalism in a construction trailer in the midst of rubble, or as we like to say, opportunity. But what does a mega mogul online shoe retailer with an ambitious plan to save a downtrodden town have anything to do with kids liking poached rutabaga? You must be asking yourself by now. Well, the fact is, nothing, because he really actually can't stand root vegetables. I've tried. And yet everything. You know, the philosophy behind which Zappos was developed and raised into the billion-dollar company that it was, it's really the genesis for what we're creating downtown with our kids and our school lunch program. You know, essentially, the philosophy at Zappos is culture-based. You know, they first started out as an online shoe retailer, and that's what they did. They sold shoes online. And how do you differentiate yourself in that market? You know, shoes were mostly sold in stores by, you know, an Al Bundy type that would, you know, sit you down and fit you and let you try the shoe on. How do you do that, you know, with a company that's shipping shoes out? Well, you wow them with service. And they, you know, they did this and they changed their company culture, the company story. And, you know, that's one of the ways that we're changing the school lunch program in downtown Vegas. So essentially, you know, I started out personally when I switched from digital advertising to build this business with my business partner, Susie. Our company name is Wealthily. You know, we started out wanting to help solve our nation's obesity epidemic. And we're thinking, you know, we'll reach out to women that are, you know, that are like us, that, you know, are working their asses off, wanting a solution, not wanting to chase every single fad diet that there was, and just live happier, healthier life. You know, as a country, we don't really claim a food culture. And we believed, just as Zappos did, if we changed our food culture and we changed our food story, that we could change the world. We could totally change how we look at food and how we engage with our own relationship with health. So we set out to become entrepreneurs. We wanted to create the new packaged health meal and the convenient way to eat healthy. But as fate would have it, you know, we were meant to do something bigger. You know, we first discovered it for ourselves and then for everyone else, that something really profound happens when you start to take care of your body. You know, it starts to understand. Your body physically and metaphysically starts to understand that you're showing it this deeper level of compassion. And it was a feeling that, you know, unlike anything else that we had ever felt in the materialistic, you know, focused world that we were living in. And we truly found, you know, that at one point we realized that the life we were living wasn't worth the price we were paying for it. We were stressed out and gaining weight because of it and losing sleep, and it just wasn't worth it. We really wanted to create something meaningful and create happiness and prosperity that way. And so right about this time when we were having this revelation, we get a phone call from the director of a new school that's being built downtown, Ninth Bridge, and they asked us promptly, they said, hey ladies, would you like to help us develop a healthy lunch meal plan for kids between the ages of 2 and 5? And we say, jolly good, madam, we'd be happy to help out. Or, hell yeah. So here we were, we get off the phone and we promptly puke because we're there with this unprecedented opportunity to fundamentally change school lunch. I mean, that's the idea behind what's happening downtown right now, is developing new constructs for seemingly traditional, industries, and being able to duplicate that and share it with other cities. Because essentially, by the year 2050, 80% of the world's population will live in cities. So technically, if you fix cities, you fix the world. So we got to work. We knew that this was going to be a job for Lunch Lady 2.0. But Michelle Obama did have her hands full at the time, so we decided we would just call in the troops. We called pretty much everyone we knew in this space, whether they were involved in school gardens or health programs, child nutrition programs specifically, and we knew we had the dream team put together. And so we got started in rewriting our own food story for the little ones. And in the process, we realized, this is a great quote from Ann Cooper's TED Talk. It's called Lunch Lessons, and she's a force. She'll get you all fired up about changing our nation's food story as it relates to childhood obesity. The one thing that's missing from this and other talks like it is the focus on the little guys, on 2 to 5-year-olds. And malnourished kids can't think, hungry kids can't learn, and food should have a place, a face, a story to them. That's how little kids understand and perceive the world. And I feel, if we change that for them, that they can then grow up to be healthier, more productive adults. Kids at the age of 2 and 3 start to develop the food issues that we are now manifesting at 15, 20, the anorexia, the overeating. This starts at 2, 3, and 4 years old. So we must address this issue. So we figured the first thing that we would do to rewrite our story is reset the scene. We wanted to create an environment for our kids that really, really drove the point home for them that food is something to be enjoyed, and we didn't want food to be a mystery. It didn't just come from the grocery store aisles. It came from farms, or it came from classroom gardens that we built, or gardens around the school. And we wanted to involve the parents in this conversation. This is the first time that that's happened in a program related to childhood wellness and nutrition. So typically it's teacher teaches parent, teacher teaches students, but very rarely is the trifecta involved where everyone's kind of part of the conversation and we're carrying that healthy habit in the home. So we reset our scene. And then we spruced up our vocabulary. Kids are very, very literal. So when you tell them something's bad for them, like sugar, but they know it tastes damn good, they're not going to believe you anymore. So we had to make sure that parents took their vocabulary and what they were saying to themselves and to their children, and we spruced it up a little bit. So instead of diet, health style. Instead of good for you, nutritious. Yucky, adult taste. A lot of kids start to develop their palates at 2 and 3 as well. They're naturally averse to greens, which makes it a super headache to have to, help them get around not liking the taste of broccoli. But once they understand, listen, this is good for your muscles. This builds muscle. We don't have Popeye nowadays. If you tell them that, they really understand it. So again, and my last favorite, sugar-free, chemical storm. Seriously, we had to get that out of our vocabulary. Kids shouldn't be eating anything sugar-free because it's really chemically induced. Another thing that we did was introduce new characters. So I don't know if you guys are familiar with Super Sprouts. They're actually based here in New York City. They're a really, really great program. Each one of their little veggie characters has a strength. So, it's Mr. Carrot, he has super sight, and the kids just really, really engage with that kind of thing. Like, they need this to be fun for them. And so when it's fun for them, when it's tolerable for the parent, you can really start to see the changes happening at home. And then go ahead and be superheroes. I told you about how our trifecta is really, really working for us. The teacher, the parent, and the student have to all be involved together to make this work. and then rewrite the ending. Instead of giving treats, for good grades, give, kids value more family movie night or family game night. And I'll leave you with this so you can remember the recipe for this success. Healthy environments and attitudes and loving tribes of healthy, helpful people will lead to a yummier life. Thank you guys for having me.